Hello, my name is Zhanna Buell, and I'm teaching indoor rowing at Southwest Y of Silicon Valley YMCA. Okay, before you just take a seat and let's talk a little bit about the machine. First of all, I want to demonstrate how to store it. It's a very nifty apparatus, and it's really easy to transport and store. Thank you. So we just pull on this lever over here, and that basically safely hold both parts of the machine and disengage. And then we make sure that a groove fits into a slot. Lift the lever back up, pull it together, and voila, it's back together. That's okay. There we go. There we go. It's easier than it looks sometimes. Okay. So let me just give a little overview of what we're dealing with here. So indoor rowing machines were invented to supplement rowing during the summer in winter time. So as a result, this machine, this wind-resistant machine, it imitates rowing on land as much as possible for rowing on the water. So athletes can continue training and imitate and be ready for summer months as much as possible. So Concept2 is a wind resistance machine, and a lot of resistance happens here in a damper. So we are looking at the damper with various settings, and we can see the damper settings from 10 to 1. So what does it mean? Does it mean that if it's a 10 we're working harder, or at 1 we're working less? Not really. The idea here is to imitate different types of boats. So if the resistance is at 10, let's say we're looking at rowing a heavy barge. If the resistance is at 1, it's a light scully boat. But most of us who row on the water, they would be rowing in a boat of 4 or 8. So the resistance between 3 and 5 is appropriate for anybody, and for beginner especially. So that's how we set our machine somewhere between 3 and 5. I put it between 4 and 3, and that would be our standard setting. So second, we need to make sure we're safe and secure in our foot flexors. So the strap should go somewhere across the ball of your foot, and if you want to get out of foot flexors, the movement would be up and out, so you don't feel yourself trapped in them. It's very easy, and when we have new people, we just show them how to get out of the foot flexors. This is a performance monitor. This is a really great part of equipment because it provides the feedback for every stroke, what you're doing, and a lot more. But we usually talk about a lot more later down the road with people who take our classes. First, they need to understand where the performance monitor should be. And it depends on the rower's height and anatomy. So roughly, we set the performance monitor somewhere on their eye level. So like in the boat, we try to keep our eyes on the horizon. So here, our focal point would be here on performance monitor. Plus, it helps us to explain to students how to position their head during rowing. And obviously, we want to continue looking in this direction and not nodding or lifting their neck. Not only it's not safe, but it also does not improve the quality of their workout. This is a handle. We want to hold the handle wide, but not too wide. And it doesn't matter really. There's no like hard and fast rule how to hold it. I recommend holding it wide because it's easier to maintain alignment between the wrist and the shoulder. But where elbows go doesn't really matter. They don't have to be wide. They don't have to be narrow. If you're comfortable, that's good enough. All right, I want to quickly introduce you to, or the students, to parts of the rowing cycle. So rowing cycle can be broken into 2 positions. You can be up here, up close, with your legs compressed and your hips hinged forward slightly, at about, well, we have a clock over there, very conveniently, at about 1 o'clock forward at an angle. And when we come all the way to the back, then we call it finish. And here we don't want our students to lean too far back, especially the beginner ones. So we tell them just look at the angle about 11 o'clock. So we just mentioned the catch, the finish, and when we were transitioning from catch to finish, this part is called drive. When we go back, that's called finish. That's called, sorry, recovery. When we go from catch to finish and then back, we're going through a cycle and a series of movement. We want the movement to be as efficient and effective as possible for a great workout. And safety, so we ask our students usually to keep their back straight, sit tall, and push with their legs. When they push with their legs, this is a part of a rowing cycle that's very important because it's not very intuitive. You can't, it's not a good idea to do everything simultaneously in rowing. You're not going to get a long stroke, you're not going to get effective workout in the end. So the first part of the drive is the legs. You unbend the legs until your knees are straight. Then you activate your torso, your body, your core. Using your core, you lean back, and then you follow up with your arms. When you go back on recovery, you do it in an opposite progression. Arms, body, legs. And that is your stroke cycle. And your rowing mantra, arms, body, legs. Legs, body, arms. Let's have a little bit of fun and fine-tune our brain like orchestra is fine-tuned first before the concert, and have a couple of pig drills. We'll start at the finish, rowing just with our arms and body. So let's arms out, then body, then arms. And let's do it a couple of more times. Maintaining good posture, sitting tall. Imagine there is a glass of water on your head and you don't want to spill it. So that's how your head should be positioned. That's really easy. Let's add legs. We're going to come up just a little bit, just a tad, and we call it quarter slide. So we're going to go into quarter slide. So that's 1, that 2, and let's right up a little bit. And remember, legs, then body, then arms, and arms, body, legs, just a little bit. Good, good, good. Beautiful. Good job, Maureen. Now we're going to come up a little bit more. We're going to come up half the slide. And into, we're still at quarter slide. 1, and 2. And on this one, we come up half the slide, like this. And remember, arms, body, legs, legs, body, arms. Arms, body, legs, legs, body, arms. Because we do it so well, we can graduate to full stroke, to full length. So into, let's go to full length. So we still at half slide. 1, half slide 2. Good job. And full slide. Very good. Let's just go slowly, slowly, maybe robotically. Just to memorize, to let our body remember how it's done. Very good. And last time. Okay, so let's do a reverse drill. Come up the slide, fully compress our legs as much as we can, without leaning or reaching forward, still sitting tall. We're just going to uncurl our legs like this to come to complete straight legs. Make sure they're not bouncing. That wouldn't be good for your knees. And just give it a couple of tucks and a couple of pushes. So I'm going to ask you to look at your monitor in front of you and see the largest numbers and the largest in size rather than the amount. And then you will see a slash 500. That is where the split is located, so-called split, which is a time that takes you to pass through 500 meters. So can we make the split smaller? The smaller the split, the harder we work, the faster we accelerate. And that's where the workout comes from hard pushing to the back, from the drive. So let's try and push a little faster and a little harder and see what happens to the numbers. Are they going down? They're going down. That's right. They're getting smaller. Very good. 2 more. And that's it. We're going to add trunk to this. Going to go legs and trunk, and then back again. So that's where the ballpark of your work comes from, not really the arms. Oh, numbers are going down even more. Very good. So in 2, let's add arms. 1, and 2, and 1, and let's give it 5 strokes. 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Excellent. Very good. And let's put our handle into a handle. Excellent. So let's do a little bit of rowing. We know everything we need to know almost. So at the top right corner, we'll see numbers. If we're not paying attention, that's okay, because now we will. So this is, the number has S/M, which means strokes per minute. So we're going to pay attention to this particular number, because we're going to stay at 24 strokes per minute. So we're going to set our monitor for 1 minute of work and 1 minute of rest. And during the work, we're going to push away hard. We're going to use our trunk and our core to pull on the handle and then pull off with our arms. When we rest, we're going to do the same, but a little lighter. We're going to pedal. So how do we set our monitor? We click the button, menu back. Then we click the second button from the top on the right, select workout. Then we click the bottom button that says new workout. Now we go in to find a button that says intervals time, which is the second from the bottom. And now we already have one blinking, so we're good here. We're going to click on the very top button 1, 2, 3 times. So right now we see set rest and a 0 blinking. Excellent. So we're going to press plus, which is the second button on the right from the top, 1 time. 1 time. We'll set for work. Very good. So we go, these are the intervals, and we're going to row through these intervals 3 times. So we're going to have 1 minute of work, 1 minute of paddle, rest, 3 times. So to start our workout, we need to press check mark, which is the bottom button on the right, and press. We're all ready to go. Okay, let's sit at the catch. And when I say row, we start rowing, and we start rowing hard. And let's go. Row. Excellent. I need to pull off a little bit. I'm going a little too fast. I want to invite you to imitate my movement. I'm going to break down the rowing stroke a little farther. I want you to notice the difference in ratio between the drive and the recovery. I I come slower on the recovery, then I push away on the fly, on the drive. So if we do it together, it's easier to learn. Because recovery is called recovery for a reason. Yes, when you come up the fly, slowly and gently. Oh, we're there. How about that? So now we can rest by paddling, continuing with our beautiful stroke, except that we're going to push away a little lighter. As we completed interval 1, somebody you notice they're having trouble maintaining horizontal pull on the handle, and the knees get on their way. What can you do? You can cue this person to make sure that arms are in front of their knees on the recovery, which will help with the problem. The other way to explain it is the concept of boxing out, which means that imagine you holding a box in your hands and you want to pass it back and forth without poking through the box with your knees. So sometimes it does help people understand and rearrange their body movement. So in this case, don't worry, I want you to start bending knees only after your arms pass your knees, like this. Then you fixed it. Excellent. Sometimes it happens that person tries to work their arms so hard that they bend their arms before they bend their knees. It happens when people are trying to build their leg strength, or they're just beginning to learn and help their brain to memorize the stroke movement pattern. Very soon they will feel it in their back, and we don't want that. So how can we help them? We can obviously ask them to pay attention to their arms and make sure that they're working with their legs. So we notice that right now we are in, we passed the interval 2, and we're resting. So this is a good time usually to come up and talk to people and help them with their issues. So make sure that you push away with your arms, then follow up with your core, and then bend your arms. So this time, this is our last interval. This is the last hard interval. Very good. And I encourage people to row together. It's a great idea because not only it teaches students the correct technique, following their instructor, but also exercises mental control and body control. And we have just 4 strokes left until we're done with this last minute of hard rowing. And last stroke. And we're going into rest and pedal. So Maureen, do you feel like you're working hard?
I do.
Are you breaking a sweat? Good, good, good. So now is the time to rest.
And I wanted to ask you, Zhanna, what about this? If I try to just pull from the very beginning as I unfold my legs.
Right, it happens quite often.
It seems like I'm working harder, am I?
You're working harder, but not as efficiently as you could. And in the end, you're not going to get a good workout because your shoulder core is so tired. And your legs will be underworked. So your arms will be falling off, but you might not be even sweating. So your heart rate did not come up. So we need to fix it. First of all, to point to the mistake and maybe even pause the workout for this particular person and go over the stroke again. This would work probably if you have an experienced, seasoned rower in your class who can continue row and keep you followed. But explaining, supporting, and verbally explaining how to row correctly usually does the trick. And the more you row, the better you get. Got it. Very good. That's our little workout. So how are we going to finish when we're done with the workout? What do we do next? So we're going to put away our foot, our handle. But we're not going to put it back in the cradle. We're going to release it all the way. So there's a least amount of tension. We're going to put the damper setting to 1. We're going to wipe the rail with moist tissue and store equipment correctly. Which means we're very lucky we have a shed that we call boathouse, where we put our machines upright and keep them there safe and dry. Well, thank you very much. I hope you got an idea of how we're teaching. Hope to continue rowing as long as possible.